Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the Garmin Edge MTB. It's a bike computer that, well, it truly surprised quite a few people with its recent release.
Definitely a surprise.
We've pulled together insights from some top reviewers, folks like DC Rainmaker, GP Llama, and also a detailed look from the 5K runner.
Right. The 5K runner, he's deep into the tech side of performance, triathlon, cycling, you name it. Always about going faster and measuring it.
Exactly. So our mission today is really to pull out the key nuggets from what they found, to help you understand what this new device means for cyclists, especially mountain bikers, obviously, and, well, where it fits in Garmin's lineup. And this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Because what immediately grabbed reviewers' attention, and probably yours too, is that this just wasn't the device anyone was expecting.
Not at all.
GP Llama actually called the release of the Garmin Edge MTB a plot twist. He noted that lots of people, himself included, were really anticipating the Edge 550 and 850 instead.
Yeah, that was the rumor mill consensus, wasn't it?
Yeah, totally. This wasn't just a surprise, was it? It kind of makes you wonder if Garmin is maybe subtly shifting its strategy, perhaps testing a new, more niche approach before a bigger refresh.
It definitely threw a curveball. And what's fascinating here is that while, yes, it's positioned for mountain biking, GP Llama also clarified it's a purpose-built Garmin Edge.
Okay.
But it's very much an X50 series with the user interface. It packs all the standard features you'd expect from a capable Garmin unit.
Yeah.
So, despite the name, it sounds like it could appeal beyond just mountain bikers.
And the 5K runner kind of took that idea even further. He viewed it almost as an Edge 150, the smallest sort of bottom of the range edge, rather than the 550 or 850 people were waiting for.
Right, like a new entry point.
Yet the 5K runner also called it a welcome focus on MTB riders for the first time.
Yeah.
So there's this tension. Is it a new entry-level device, or is it highly specialized?
Well, DC Rainmaker characterized the whole thing as a quirky product in launch.
Quirky, okay.
He described it as an in-between product. It somehow blends the new software platform from the Edge 1050 series with hardware design that's more like the Edge 540-ish.
Huh.
It's a curious mix, isn't it? Almost like Garmin is experimenting, maybe trying to carve out a very specific segment.
So with such an unexpected entry, the physical side of the Edge MTB immediately got attention. How does this in-between product actually feel, in your hand and on the trail?
Yeah, that's key.
Reviewers consistently highlighted its compact and rugged design. We're talking dimensions of 50.4 by 77.8 by 19.8 millimeters and weighing just 57 grams.
Which is light.
It really is. Yeah. GP Llama noted it's not quite 130 plus small, but not as big and bulky as a 540 or 840. And for context, the Edge 540 is 81 grams, so this MTB unit is significantly lighter. That's a real plus on the trails.
Oh, absolutely. And it's truly built to shred, as Garmin puts it. It's got 7 fully enclosed buttons, designed specifically to keep mud and grit out. That's crucial for off-road.
Yeah.
Plus, it has a scratch-resistant Corning Gorilla Glass lens. And importantly, it's button-only, no touchscreen. That's a deliberate choice.
Right. Better for gloves and mud.
Exactly. Fantastic for wet, muddy, or gloved conditions where, a touchscreen can just be frustrating.
And speaking of the screen, GP Llama was impressed. He found the color screen bright and crisp, similar to what you'd get on the Edge 1050.
That's good to hear.
And DC Rainmaker echoed that. He confirmed it's definitely brighter than the Edge 540, although maybe not quite as bright as that premium 1050 display. Still, a significant visual upgrade for a smaller unit.
And beyond the unit itself, the mounts get some attention too. In the box, you get this new top tube mount, along with a standard handlebar mount and a tether.
A top tube mount, interesting.
Yeah, DC Rainmaker detailed this one. He admitted it's initially confusing to figure out how the strap routes, but once you get it set up, apparently it's very stable. He did add a word of caution. Though probably don't use larger devices like the Edge 1050 with this specific mount. They could get kneecapitated, as he put it, on bumps.
Ouch.
Yeah, unlike the smaller, lighter Edge MTB, it really highlights how the mount is designed for this compact form factor.
Okay, so beyond the physical stuff, what truly sets the Edge MTB apart are its, groundbreaking new features. And top of that list is something really innovative. 5 Hz GPS recording.
The 5 Hz.
This feature records 5 GPS points per second. 5 Hz. That's a big leap from the standard 1 Hz you find in most consumer GPS devices.
So why does this matter for you as a rider? Well, the 5K runner explains that this higher frequency captures rapid changes much more precisely,
Meaning?
meaning you get visually perfect path representations around sharp turns, more precise peak speed measurements, even detailed acceleration data.
Yeah.
And GP Llama showed that while it doesn't necessarily change your overall accuracy, it genuinely smooths things out. It addresses what he amusingly calls the super Marioing, or Mario Karting, of the GPS track you sometimes see.
Right, where the track jumps around.
Exactly. DC Rainmaker demonstrated this perfectly with the high-speed road turn example. The 5 Hz line stays on the roadway, while the 1 Hz track, well, it cuts in on the sidewalk. It's all about precision in those complex, fast movements.
But the way it's implemented, it has a few quirks, apparently.
It does, yeah.
This 5 Hz recording is only active when the device thinks you're descending, and it's only available in the new Enduro MTB and Downhill MTB profiles.
Right, specific modes.
DC Rainmaker found the Enduro mode's need for a manual toggle between climbing and descending a bit cumbersome. He said it led to forgotten toggles and, well, missed 5 Hz data.
That's annoying.
The Downhill profile, thankfully, is simpler. It automatically engages 5 Hz on descents. So it seems like Garmin is still maybe refining the user experience around this powerful new tech.
Definitely feels like version 1.0 in some ways. And looking at the reviewer impact in the future for 5 Hz, GP Llama noted that while Garmin Connect handles the 5 Hz data fine, Strava currently only displays 1 Hz data from the unit.
Oh, really? That's a bit of a shame for Strava users.
It is, yeah. Hopefully Strava updates that. DC Rainmaker, though, even though he found the actual visual differences very minor, needing extreme zoom to spot them, he firmly believes this will kick off a shift in technology.
I think so.
He predicts it'll become the norm for bike computers in maybe 2 to 4 years. He really sees it as a sign of things to come across the board.
But there is a trade-off, isn't there? The 5K Runner and DC Rainmaker both flagged this.
Yes, the battery life.
Enabling 5 Hz recording apparently halves the device's battery life. Reduces it from maybe 26 hours in battery saver mode down to around 14 hours in demanding use cases.
That's a significant chunk of ride time, something you definitely need to plan for on longer adventures. But the broader potential for 5 Hz recording is quite exciting. The 5K runner sees it as a game changer, not just for mountain biking, but for high-res tracking in other sports too. Things like windsurfing, skiing, motor racing, even sprinting.
Wow.
He believes it can provide near-perfect movement profiles for athletes in those areas, allowing for, well, unprecedented analysis of motion.
Okay, so 5 Hz is huge.
Yeah.
What about the other headline feature? Timing gates.
Yes, timing gates.
This new function lets you manually create a start gate and then up to 10 subsequent timing gates along a course you ride.
Right.
As you pass through them, the Edge MTB tracks your split times for each sector and your overall lap time. It gives you real-time feedback on whether you're ahead or behind your target splits. It's kind of like personal segment tracking, but with way more control.
It is. But DC Rainmaker emphasizes some setup details here. These courses have to be created on the device itself, not in Garmin Connect.
That's you. Okay, why is that?
Apparently to ensure very precisely placed gates and the correct direction of travel. GP Llama confirmed the feature works, but he found the setup using only buttons a bit challenging.
Because no touchscreen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He mentioned nuances and specific button sequences, so while it sounds powerful, it might take a bit of practice to get right.
And how did reviewers feel about the implementation?
Mixed, maybe?
Yeah.
DC Rainmaker called it a bit rough around the edge. He particularly found having to manually start a timing gate section cumbersome.
Yeah, I can see that.
He said he'd prefer an automatic pop-up, more like how Strava Live segments work.
Makes sense.
And the 5K runner, while acknowledging the innovation, also raised questions about its precision under trees, where GPS signals can get weak.
Good point. So innovative, but maybe needs some refinement, especially for real-world trail conditions.
Seems that way. Looking ahead, though, GP Llama expects timing gates will probably come to the Edge 1050. That fits Garmin's usual pattern, porting features up to the flagship.
Right.
And the 5K runner got very excited about its potential for triathlon. He suggested it could be adapted to mark transition points. Swim in, bike out, bike in, run out.
For automated splits.
Exactly. For a properly automated multi-sport sports profile. That would be a huge win for triathletes, giving immediate automated split feedback in races.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so beyond those big features, the Edge MTB also brings in new mountain bike-specific profiles, right? enduro, and downhill.
Yep, the Enduro profile tracks your total ascent and descent per run, and for the whole ride, gives you a clear picture of the effort.
And the downhill one.
The downhill profile automatically laps each time you finish a descent, which is clever, and makes sure your trip back up on a shuttle or lift doesn't mess with your actual ride stats.
That's smart. Really useful for gravity riders.
Very much so. And the device also includes Garmin's established MTB dynamics. Those are metrics like jump count, jump distance, hang time.
Right, the fun stuff.
And also grit, which rates trail difficulty, and flow, which measures how smoothly you ride it. Those are fantastic for understanding performance. Grit assesses the trail's technical challenge. Flow looks at your speed and consistency. Really unique insights for trail riding.
And there's more trail data, too, with trail forks maps preloaded and an enhanced fork site mode.
Correct. GP Llama noted this gives you more detail about upcoming trails, at junctions names, difficulty levels, elevation profiles. Super helpful when you're navigating unfamiliar trails, trying to decide which way to go.
Definitely.
And DC Rainmaker highlighted a brand new post-ride trail breakdown. This gives details on all the trail types you rode, their difficulty, the time spent on them. Great for analyzing your ride afterwards.
Assuming the trails are in trail forks, of course.
Exactly. He pointed out that limitation for his own location might not be universal everywhere.
Right. So despite being specialized, it sounds like the Edge MTB still packs in a ton of standard Garmin features.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not stripped down. You get full mapping, navigation, Climb Pro,
Group ride, group track, live track, incident detection, bike alarm.
advanced workouts, cycling dynamics, music control, e-bike support. Even Connect IQ add-ons support their app store for data fields and widgets.
Plus, integration with Varia devices, the smart radars and lights,
InReach satellite communicators for off-grid safety.
and electronic shifting like Shimano DI, 2-Synchro Shift, and SRAM AXS. It really is a comprehensive Garmin experience, even with that MTB focus.
It is. However, reviewers did flag a few surprising omissions.
Okay. Like what?
Well, the Edge MTB lacks Wi-Fi, so activity sync is Bluetooth only, and map updates happen over USB-C.
Okay, no Wi-Fi. Anything else?
It also doesn't have a speaker or a bell, and importantly, it omits several advanced training and physiological features you find on higher-end units.
Which one is?
Things like power guide for pacing efforts, acute load, training status, load focus those key metrics for managing training intensity, and Climb Pro explore the feature for checking out climbs off your planned route. Regular Climb Pro is still there, though.
So how did reviewers react to those missing features?
It was a bit mixed. GP Llama remarked he was unable to tell if it was missing another arm or a leg feature-wise. He found it still pretty stacked, despite those gaps.
Okay, so he didn't miss them much.
But the 5K runner found these omissions somewhat pointless. He suggested Climb Pro Explore and maybe Wi-Fi are the only two you'd truly miss.
Right.
And DC Rainmaker also kind of questioned the value of segmenting features quite like this. So the debate seems to be, are these really crucial missing pieces, or just things that aren't essential for the specific audience Garmin's targeting here?
Interesting point.
It really feels like Garmin is trying to hit a very specific price point and feature set with this one.
Speaking of price.
Yeah, GP Llama pointed out it's priced at $399 US and €399. That positions it, strategically between the Edge 540 at $349 and the Edge 840 at $449.
So right in the middle.
Exactly. And the 5K runner described it as a relatively expensive entry-level bike computer, but then he immediately clarified. It's not entry-level at all. It's just the cheapest Garmin Edge in the current range, which I think gives you a really good sense of where it sits in their current product hierarchy. It's an interesting strategic play.
So wrapping things up, how did the reviewers ultimately see this device, GP Llama? What was his final take?
He concluded that the Edge MTB is, without a doubt, a very capable edge bike computer that's more than just mountain bike focused, especially noting how small and light it is.
Right, broader appeal, perhaps.
Yeah, he even questioned if Garmin might eventually drop the 500 series and just focus on upgrading the 800, or maybe if this unit should have been called the Edge 550 Junior or Edge 550 MTB. He felt the name might actually hold it back a little bit from that wider appeal.
And DC Rainmaker, a bit more skeptical.
He found it an interesting unit for sure, but he acknowledged it's unclear whether this is a one-night stand or something with longer staying power. Is it a niche product or the start of something bigger? He did note that all the new software features introduced here, the 5 Hz, timing gates, They will eventually come to the Edge 1050, and presumably to future Edge 550 and 850 models whenever they arrive.
So the software innovation isn't exclusive long-term.
Exactly. He personally scratches his head a bit on the new model from a hardware standpoint. He questioned why a separate MTB-specific device is needed instead of just, say, a smaller 130-sized replacement that incorporates these advanced features for everyone.
That's a fair question. So what does this all mean for you as a cyclist? We've seen how the Garmin Edge MTB packs some genuinely innovative features like that 5 Hz GPS and timing gates into a rugged, compact design. It's clearly delighting mountain bikers.
For sure.
But it's also raising questions about its place in the wider Garmin ecosystem. It's this fascinating blend, isn't it? Specialized capability mixed with some strategic omissions. It shows Garmin is both innovating and, well, carefully segmenting its market.
Absolutely. Ultimately, Garmin is pushing the boundaries of what a bike computer can do, especially for off-road riders. But it also kind of highlights a bigger trend in tech, doesn't it? Where specialized features, once niche, eventually trickle down or expand into broader applications, transforming what all our devices can do.
So thinking about these specialized features and this ongoing debate among the reviewers,
Right.
do you think dedicated devices like the Edge MTB are the future? Are we moving towards more hyper-focused gadgets? Or will Garmin just continue to integrate these kinds of innovations into its broader Edge lineup for all types of cyclists? It's definitely something worth mulling over as you hit the trails or the road with your own gear.